Okay, everybody, and for our next installment, October 2025. Can't believe it already. I'm going to show you how to tie a funnel wing, a CDC blue wing olive. Our water's really low here right now. These bugs are pouring off on our tailwaters and our freestoners at a pretty good clip. Downside is they're very small. So like this is the one in the vise you'll see here that I'm going to tie. This is a size 20. It's a Airx FW 507. It's kind of like a shorter shank, smaller dry fly hook. Ideally it's probably a little smaller than a 20, but most of the bugs that we're seeing for this time of year in the fall with the olives are really tiny. They're like 26s to 32s and maybe even smaller. Some days the fish really get on them and the water's low. If you get a good emergence of these, trout will get up on top on them. I'm going to demonstrate how to do this funnel wing style for the CDC wing because it's something a little different. It allows you to take the stem out of the equation. Mark Pettigen really popularized this, although I'm very certain it was done from a German fellow well before he did, but he really put this stuff on the map. So I'm going to show you how to do this real quickly, the best I can. You got to bear with me. I'm reaching over my camera here. I don't have a professional studio. I'm just some commercial tying hack. Just trying to give you some tidbits here. So that fly is exactly what we're going to tie in the vise. I'm going to pop this guy out, put a fresh hook in there. Like I said, this is a size 20, but you can do these a lot smaller. A lot of times this 20 will work just fine. If they're really, really snooty, then you're going to have to downsize. There's some other short shank, big gap hooks that work really, really well for this that are light wire. You can search them out. So we're going to start with a UTC 70 brown olive. I still really love this thread. You can actually just build a body out of this thread in and of itself for some of your smaller blue wing olives, and you'll cover your bases really, really well, and you'll keep it sparse. If you find that you have a tough time, dubbing bodies or running biots, that's the way to go, or strip quills. I'm going to tie this in an emerger style, so I've got about 5 or 6 strands of ice fur. You can use like a dark brown. An olive works really, really well. This is my favorite, that orangutan rust color. I cut it about the length. Doesn't matter if those are unruly. You can save whatever's left there for later. I really like a segmented body on these, but I'll be quite honest with you, you could just tie and taper a dubbed body out of this thread, or not dubbed, but just a thread body out of this if you'd like, and it'll work equally as well. I'm using some of these new fulling mills doing stripped quills now, and their stripped quills are fantastic. They're all really, really long and in good, really, really good quality. So I'm going to tie one of these in on the near side. Wrap my thread. You hear my cat's crying back there. And put a half hitch on there. If you got a rotary function on your vise, not a bad time to use it if you really want to. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to wrap it by hand. What I will do though is I am going to put a pair of hackle pliers on there. Just be careful you don't whack the barb. These quills give a very, very cool segmented effect. And just tie it off. Some tension on there. only reason I'm doing that half hitch, normally you don't have to, it's just because I'm reaching over a camera right now. You still have a ton of coil left. You can actually use all that for another fly, which I recommend doing. Just to reinforce these, I put a very, very thin layer of resin right over that. And that should be pretty well locked in. Next thing we're going to do, and you won't be able to see this on camera, I'm going to actually insert some photos right here. You'll get to see these while I'm talking. And using a table, a couple rather long CDC fibers that are the same, have uniform barbs on them. We're going to push them through the table like Mark does. Grab them with your clamp, whichever kind of clamp you like. And then we're going to build a dubbing loop and sandwich that CDC right into that dubbing loop. The key to this on a funnel wing is you don't want to use any dubbing wax. So put your dubbing loop device in there. I've already pre-cut some of this. Now I want to slip this in between the two pieces of thread, relatively close to the butt ends, like you see here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our thumb and our finger, slide them up like so, give it a couple turns, slide it up some more, you see here, and keep your thread out of the way, and then we're going to twist it really tight. Once you've done that, you're going to raise that dubbing loop upwards. And while doing so, we're going to pull all those fibers rearward and take, that's where it gets kind of tricky. So now we're going to take, while pulling those rearward, holding on to that, we're going to take a couple loose pinch wraps. One, two, three. And then we're going to take that bunch, move it forward, take one loose turn, like you're parachuting it, right around it, the base. Try not to catch your thread. And then while moving it forward, you're going to take 3 turns right against the base of that wing on the back side. Just like you see here. Then fold it backward again. Wrap that dubbing loop thread forward to the eye. And then, this is so difficult with a camera in front of you. Wrap right over that dubbing loop thread. Half hitch that. Trim that loop off. And then we can whip finish. Now, there's one or two things you can do. If you're happy with the way that front body looks, you can dub it if you want. I often, on these smaller size olives, I will just take my thread and build a taper out of it that way. Just because I want to keep it relatively sparse, but you're more than welcome to add some superfine on there. You've done that. Can't see so good. Sorry, folks. And then you can just take your fibers and preen them however you want for your wing. Trim them however you like. What's nice about this style of wing is it gives you kind of a broad profile, as you see from the bottom. You can trim it however you like. It's entirely up to you. But it gives you a very, very nice light pattern with CDC. And that's a funnel done. Hope you liked it. Happy tying, good luck fishing, catch you in a few.